You know him as the nose tackle for the green and gold, 1993 to 1999, and again 2001 to 2003. What you're about to hear is about more than just football. It's about life. This is Under the Helmet with the Gravedigger. Now, Gilbert Brown and Earl Ingram.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Wipe the dust out your eyes. I got to deal with Earl this morning and a Packer loss. Hi, Earl.
Good morning and welcome to Under the Helmet with the Gravedigger on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 844-967-2789, 844-967-2789. I wonder, Gilbert, if they sold out of all the clinics across the state.
Why would they do that, Earl?
Well, you talking about wipe the dust out your eyes. Should be wiping the tears out your eyes.
You feeling yourself.
Hey, 34-20 to a 6-7 football team at home in a crucial playoff game. And you give up four
playoff game. It wasn't a playoff.
I mean, no, well, it would lead them to the playoffs.
We fighting for our playoff lives.
Yeah, you didn't fight too well. I might have been able to.
Don't you let that come out now.
Listen, man. They were embarrassed in the hallowed grounds of Lambeau Field.
Oh my
Baker Mayfield.
No, we got embarrassed last week with Danny DeVito.
Hey. Yeah, but Baker Mayfield.
He's a professional.
In the hallowed grounds, and so is Danny DeVito.
No, he
right.
Just,
okay. Hey man, come on, man. You're not thinking quick enough this morning.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a tough challenge for you this morning.
Hey,
brother.
Earl, did I tell you I loved you, brother?
Oh yeah, hey man, likewise.
You know what I'm saying? So don't be surprised if somebody outside after you get off work today.
let me put it this way.
What, brother?
You gotta admit, 2 weeks ago, you and I, 844-967-2789.
Help me, y'all.
Is the phone number. 2 weeks ago, you and I were on these same airwaves.
Was that before you had to dye your hair or after?
It was before, you know. But we had talked about the Packers running the table. They had 4 games against teams that we felt the vaunted Green Bay Packers, the resurrected Green Bay Packers, would be able to defeat all those teams. Packers had the chances of them making the playoffs were about 65% at that time. So it was all before them, Gilbert. Excuse me. They proceeded to lose to Danny DeVito on a Monday night game. Get embarrassed.
Didn't even touch him.
They came back home in a must-win game. Must win. Hey, Gilbert, and the defense played hard, but you gave up 4 passing touchdowns, man. This might be the second most points they gave up the whole season. A critical game. Your thoughts, man? What happened?
Earl, I'm going to put it like this, man. The Green Bay Packers yesterday, too many breakdowns in the secondary. Defensive line came to play. Got 5 sacks. Held them to under 100 yards rushing. Okay?
They only ran the ball 27 times.
Would you let me finish?
I know, but I got to, put that caveat in there.
I don't care how many times they ran the ball. I told you off air, all Barry Sanders need was 2 carries and get 100.
Man, come on. All right, go ahead.
Listen now, our defense it's like 1 week, the D-line show up, secondary don't. Next week, the secondary show up, the D-line don't. Next week after that, the linebackers might show up. You see what I'm saying? Too many breakdowns. We all need to be on the same page. Baker Mayfield came in here and threw for almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Unheard of. Come on, man.
well, I wouldn't say unheard of, but every dog has his day. Just like when you walk down the street with all that gray hair, nobody saw you. Now you out here looking like Willie Dynamite, and everybody see you.
I know who Willie Dynamite is. Okay, hey man. But my point is that I'm making to you is this was one of the most important games of the entire season.
All joking aside, Earl, you are definitely right.
And they were at home. And we talked off the air, 844-967-2789. And I wanted to ask you the question, how could they not be up? You played the game all the years, man. Was there ever a game that you weren't up?
No, man, because I enjoy playing the game.
You think they don't enjoy playing the game,
man?
I
enjoy playing the game. I would have played without a check, man.
Gilbert,
if they'd have said, hey, man, we can't pay y'all this week, y'all still want to play? I'll raise my hand.
Do you think there's any guy playing pro football who don't like the game?
I know there's guys out there just collecting checks, yeah. I know that for a fact.
Well, Gilbert, that's an amazing thing to me because I would think that the people who are responsible for...
And there's guys out there stealing checks, too, that shouldn't be out there.
Hey, Gilbert, but when you make that statement, it means that they're paying these guys. They got people who they're paying to evaluate talent. And so they don't just pick a guy who is just out there stealing money. They know that they believe that the guy that they have, that they've selected, is the guy who got the heart, loves the game, right? I mean, all that stuff got to go into it. They're playing pro football, man.
Earl, there's guys out there that shouldn't be out there. I'm just putting it out there like that. You got that knack to put words in people's mouth. You ever noticed that?
No, man.
You got the knack of doing that.
No, what I'm trying to do, Gilbert, is I'm trying to, for the listeners who don't know it from the technical part of it, like you, break it down, for you to break it down so we can understand. We can't understand how, only a handful of people get the opportunity to play pro football for money.
You got to understand, Earl.
Okay, go ahead.
It is LaFleur's job to make sure these guys are ready to play. Physically and mentally ready to play the game. And if you look at how we took the field these last 2 weeks, you tell me, were they up like the 2 weeks before?
Can you stay up every week, Gilbert? You played the game for 10 years. We don't know. Only you can tell us that.
We got a young group of guys. They got to learn the game. That's why I always say you gotta sprinkle in some veterans in there to get these cats ready to go. I say, just like me and you say all the time, what harm will it do for the LaFleur to call in on a Wednesday a Leroy Butler to motivate these guys?
I don't get it.
Or Gilbert Brown to motivate these guys midweek so they can get the piss hot and go out there and choke somebody instead of going out helping dudes up and saying, good job, man, pat them on the tail. Come on, man.
And you know that point, I was with your buddy Leroy last Thursday or Wednesday, wherever it was. And I bounced that same question off of him.
Mm-hmm.
How come they don't have y'all coming? I don't get that, Gilbert. I don't. That could motivate, to me, you guys have played the game. Man, to have Willie Davis come in and talk with you all before a big game, right? I mean, what does it cost you, right? It don't cost you anything, man.
Knowledge. That's what it costs them. They missing out on some knowledge to get these boys right.
Now, and tradition.
And tradition.
And which is really, when you guys played, again, Ray Nensky, Bob Skoronski, Henry Jordan, Jim Ringo, Forrest Gregg, Paul Horney, them cats, you would see them, right?
Yeah. Walking the hallowed halls of Lambeau Field.
Okay, so that tradition that carried on with you guys, you know, that mattered, right? Is it safe to say that mattered?
Absolutely, it mattered. It molded us to do what we needed to do. People don't understand. Oh, football is 20 years past his time. No, sir. He got knowledge that we ready to spit to y'all. We just need y'all to listen.
And when you have a young squad like the Packers, that's what they need. The tradition. They can be the greatest football player in the world, but as you've always said, when you walk into Lambeau Field, there was something special about the air, right? And just walking through the tunnel. So who can give them that now? The coaches can't give them that motivation, can they?
No, because it's half of them ain't been there either.
Right. That's my
Half
point.
of
Right.
them don't know no tradition of the Green Bay Packers. They just over there with the green shirt on, talking about I'm a Packer coach. But what do they know? You see what I'm saying? It's a difference in that, man.
844-967-2789. Gilbert, the reason we're having this conversation is because it matters, right? To you, it matters.
It matters a whole lot to me, yes.
And when you're talking about these games that they're losing, these games, some of them could have been won, right? We're talking about motivating young people.
Yes.
I'm a guy who talks with a lot of young people, man, and try to motivate them in life. But they bring an old guy like me around to talk to them. That's one of the things that's missing, I think, with the Packers. 844-967-2789 is the number. Join us under the helmet with the grave digger. Don't touch that dial, but you can call in 844-967-2789. We want to hear your thoughts.
First had my baby, I'd get comments all the time about how happy I must be. I remember thinking, I want to be happy. Why don't I feel that way? It was hard to admit that, even to my doctor. But I'm glad I did. She told me it was postpartum depression, and that is very treatable. These days, things are feeling good, and we're both happier about that. Right, little man? I'll take that as a yes.
Mental health care is working for Simone. See what it can do for you at mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Lexi spent more than 6 years in foster care.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Lexi now has a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
Adoption changed me for the better. I feel like I can be whoever I want to be.
You can help find permanent homes for children still lingering in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hey! Yeah. You know what? I like the players. No diggity, no doubt. Play on, play on. Play on, play on. Yo, Dre, drop the verse.
It's going down, fade to Black Street. The homies got at me, collab creations. Bump like agony, no doubt. I put it down, never slouch. As long as my credit can vouch, a dog couldn't catch me. Stay out. Tell me who could stop with Dre making moves. Attracting honeys like a magnet. Giving them orgasms with my
grandma's hands.
Still moving this flavor with the homies Black Street.
Being played like that. I ain't never accept that, man.
Come on.
Grandma's hands.
A great
Bill Withers.
Great song.
Yeah. Well, what's the rest of that stuff?
That's glorifying it, man.
Oh, excuse me.
It's glorifying it.
So
Keeping it relevant.
So let's go, and I will accept that. Welcome back to Under the Helmet with the Grave Digger. You can join us at 844-967-2789. Text us at that same number. So, Gilbert, our boy Jordan Love, he looked fabulous yesterday, man.
He sure did.
He really.
You got to give him his flowers.
Yeah, he really is developing. It's his first year.
Here's the thing. While you watching the game, Earl, did you see the field generalship?
Yeah.
Did you see it yesterday?
Yeah, he sees the whole field, Gilbert, and he's got a quick release, and he's relatively accurate. Got a strong arm, and I think they know what they're doing now. They knew what they were doing.
He's using all his mechanics now. Is what we want to say. We want to see at the beginning of the year. We want to see progression. We want to see the field generalship. We want to see all that. We're seeing it now. You see what I'm saying? We're seeing it now. That's why this year, it's but next year we ain't no more excuses.
So explain this to me, man. Riddle me this, Batman.
Got you.
Aaron Jones came in a couple carries, he got 44 yards.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go back to him.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
That's called Le Fleur Ball.
Hey, man.
Why go away for something that's working? Now, you see what happened when they got down there. The offensive line showed his true colors, and he couldn't punch it in. Remember, they hit him.
Yeah, right.
Drive, and as a head coach, man, you got to stick with your game plan. I think he went off his game plan right there.
You mean running the ball?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he had to, man. They was the Buccaneers were striking so fast. Well, maybe the part of running it, the Buccaneers wouldn't have had it as many times, right?
Well, defensively didn't put us in no good positions too.
No interceptions, no fumble recovers.
If they out there and they not holding these guys, they trying to take the momentum out of Lambeau Field by doing the things that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, we got to establish that running. I always said, man, if Aaron Jones touched the ball 20 to 25 times, we win the game.
Can he? Is he physical enough to handle it 20 to 25 times?
He's physical enough. And I'm not just talking about running the ball, run and pass, touching the ball 20 to 25 times. You see what I'm saying? It's just a different dynamic for us, man.
I think people, even in Lambeau, still don't understand who he is, right?
What he brings to the table.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Because he hasn't been used as star a running back as he is. They have not used him over his career enough. Is it safe to say that?
Yes, and it's also safe to say when you see him play and you see Dylan play, and you see the two different styles of play, Dylan can run that play, and this is what you're going to get. AJ run that play, and it's a whole different play.
Yeah, he can break it he really is as dangerous,
and he's
dangerous guy.
He's not a big cat, man. He's not. But he's just his prowess out there on the field always demands respect.
Yeah, I think he's got more speed than people give him credit for.
Oh my God. He got
breakaway speed.
His vision is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Part of all of this, Gilbert, is I hate to say it,
Then don't.
But I gotta say it.
Here it come, y'all.
Hey, Calvin, you remember the beginning of the season. I said Packers 8 and 9. I said that. Hey, I said that. I'm not going back and and you said I ain't gonna agree to that. I'm gonna take it one game at a time. I listen to you. I don't, contrary to popular belief,
You
I
same
listen.
dude said that the Detroit was going to smash us. And now
know,
you sitting over there with Dark and Lovely in your head.
Hey, man, but 8 and 9. And hey, Gilbert, they're 6 and 8.
They're 6 and 8 right now?
Yeah.
How many more games they got?
3. So, they really.
Can somebody call in and tell Earl you did a good job with your prediction?
I don't need. I'm not here for a pat on the back.
Oh,
man.
You're not? Oh,
No,
what are you doing? Rubbing it in?
No, man. I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
Well, the Packers are the youngest team in football.
Okay, so we don't want to use that as an excuse, right?
No, I think we got drunk.
So Earl, since you're so good on these X's and O's, let me ask you a question. Why you think we lost that game yesterday?
Well, number one, Tampa Bay had 0 turnovers.
Okay.
The Packers had 0 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
It was a game without turnovers.
Yeah.
And so that evened it out. But when a team passes for 380 yards and 4 touchdowns, Gilbert, man, that's the stuff, man, that not Joe Montana, but the cat who played for the Miami Dolphins when you was playing.
Dan Marino?
That's Dan Marino stuff there, brother.
So you comparing Dan Marino and Baker Mayfield in the same sentence?
Hey, yesterday the Packers made them equal.
Oh, they made dude that this week and last week.
I know. Okay, so is it coaching? That's the issue. Is it, what role does coaching play in it, and what part of it?
Earl, you said it before off air when we were talking. Who they get rid of this year?
What position?
That DB.
Oh, in the middle of the season, out of nowhere, they gave up their second best
cover.
What's his name? Savage?
No.
What was his name?
Was it Rasul? Or was it?
Yeah, Rasul Butler.
Douglas.
They gave up their second best or their best defensive back for nothing, right?
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
What, they get a 5th round draft choice? Because he said
and a ham sandwich.
844-967-2789. Under the helmet with the grave digger on the Earl Ingram Show.
A ham sandwich.
Yeah, a ham sandwich.
Ham sandwich.
Play on, cause I like it. No diggity, no doubt. Blackstreet Productions, we out.
Shaw at 101.1 FM, broadcasting to Southeast Wisconsin at 540 AM. This is The Shaw, WAUK. Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
Civic Media News, I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. A leading state lawmaker is standing by embattled Wisconsin Elections Commissioner Bob Spindell. Spindell is one of 10 Republicans who admit in a lawsuit settlement that they were pawns in a larger plot to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu tells WKOW-TV's Capital City Sunday the fake electors were merely following a legal strategy by the Trump campaign that didn't work. The chances of a white Christmas are looking slim to none. In fact, much of Wisconsin can expect milder than normal weather for at least the rest of December, thanks to the strongest El Nino weather system in 70 years. Past El Ninos made for brown Christmases in 2015, 1997, and 1982. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now, here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WAUK News, I'm Stuart J. Waddles. I-43 southbound near Mequon is where Ozaukee County Sheriff's deputies say a road rage shooting happened Saturday. There were no injuries. Police say the victim's vehicle was fired upon by a white sedan, prompting the closure of 43 southbound lanes in the early evening. The incident is still under investigation. Our area and the entire state is seeing an increase in COVID-19 cases, with the state health department reporting a rise in emergency room visits. That's especially true among people age 65 and older. Officials say there's also an uptick in RSV and flu cases. Vaccination rates have decreased in Wisconsin. The state's chief medical officer says that only 12% of eligible adults in Wisconsin have received the updated COVID vaccine. Your local health department can help in finding providers. And that's what you need to know. I'm Stuart J. Waddles, WAUK News.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. People with disabilities are extremely talented, resilient problem solvers that have so much to offer. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
The Packers lose to the Buccaneers. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. It was a back-and-forth battle of the Bays before the Buccaneers took over in the second quarter and never looked back. The final 34-20 in favor of Tampa. Buccaneers receiver Chris Godwin over 150 yards on 10 catches. Quarterback Baker Mayfield.
Guy's just so consistent, man. Can't say enough about him. A true stud, true professional.
Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles.
You know, we're playing good December football right now. We won 3. We got 3 more to go. We can't rest. We can't stop. We got to keep working.
The Packers tied the game 10-10 in the first quarter, then just couldn't seem to make the adjustments. Matt LaFleur.
Give Tampa a ton of credit. They came in, they whooped us in every phase, outcoached us, outplayed us. We got to play better. We got to coach better.
At 6-8, how will this young team respond? Jordan Love.
It's what we've been doing the whole season is, you know, how do we respond? How do we bounce back? Find ways to get better, focus on that, and make sure we go get a win.
That's Packers quarterback Jordan Love. With sports from Lambeau Field, I'm Mike Clemens.
Did you know this local radio station is part of Civic Media? Learn more about the entire network at civicmedia.us.
It is going to be a windy one today. Partly cloudy, windy, 32 our high this afternoon. The wind out of the northwest gusting to between 30 and 40 here throughout the day today, although it will back off a little bit by later this afternoon. Tonight, clear and not as windy, 18. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 35. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Currently, it's 26.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You lied to me. Baby, when you broke my heart, I gotta call my game. I'm sure your dad and me.
All right, welcome back to Under the Helmet with the Grave Digger on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 844-967-2789, 844-967-2789. Text us at that same number. So, Gilbert, they're calling for, the firing of Joe Barry.
Did you hear?
The fans, huh?
Did you hear?
I heard LaFleur.
LaFleur said
they
during the
whooped
break,
us. They whooped us.
They outcoached us. They outplayed
He said whooped us. He said whooped us. Okay. So when you make a statement like that, I have to ask you the question. You played pro football.
He must don't like his job. I'd never say that. We got outplayed. I believe that ain't the game I saw.
Okay, so how does he? So when did they come back together? Tuesday?
They got to
How
watch
does it
the
go?
film. They usually watch the film and then
On Monday?
Yeah, they usually come in on Monday, watch the film.
The whole team watches the
The
film.
whole team. Everybody that put their feet on the dirt had to watch the tape.
So they don't separate the different
Yeah. You
linebackers, defensive.
You come in and do your special teams, and then you do your team meeting, where that's when the coach gonna tell you what you did, or the head coach get to talk to everybody.
Right.
Then you go into your your breakdown meetings. That's where you go watch the film.
So the film is broken down.
Yeah. Sometimes Fritz, if we had a bad game, we watching the whole thing together because he putting everybody on Front Street that didn't do their job in front of everybody.
Okay, so what I'm asking you, Gilbert, is so now the defensive backs coach he shows it from the perspective of the defensive plays, the defensive backs.
Right.
Okay. And so he can point out to Gilbert, hey, here's where you should have your drop wasn't deep enough.
Sometimes Earl, sometimes you got to watch it as a team.
Okay.
So then everybody can see where the breakdowns was instead of you going into your individual meeting and watching just what y'all did. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You'll be watching this, that, and the other, but as a team, you watching the breakdown from the total what happened.
So it's a 2-hour game. So they're watching that film for 2 hours.
No, you can't do it like that because offense, they might have got, let's say defense got 65 snaps.
Right.
So you got to watch 65 snaps.
Okay. So the defense is watching the defense, the offense is watching the offense.
Yeah, you ain't going to sit and watch the offense. Huh?
Right. Okay. So now we saw the outcome of it, the game. They know what happened. Man, coaches never get a break then, I guess, because they got to be on 24/7, right?
They got to break down the game for next week and the week before that. Why still talking about this game? We got our butts kicked in.
I thought you have to let it go.
The coaches can't. The coaches, I mean, they gotta break down film and get you ready for next week. Sometimes a coach is 2 weeks ahead, 3 weeks.
Okay,
ahead.
so let me ask you. So before we go to the phone line, so they'll go over this film.
Yep.
And not for too long, right? They won't go over it for too long.
No,
and because they can't hold that pain for too long.
No.
And then by tomorrow they'll be on to the next the coming game.
If Tuesday's your day off, get it out your system. Wednesday we install it and back to work.
So Tuesday you're free.
For some people.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Some people got to come in and get a workout in. Some people got to do this, that, or the other. Some people they just can't leave the stadium. You know what I'm saying? You got to be around football.
Yeah, well, younger guys especially, right?
Right.
Yeah. So who is it up to determine whether or not you need to get in to get some attention?
Your position coach. That's probably talk to LaFleur and say, hey, man, this guy right here, he needs a little bit more polishing.
Yeah. Let's go to the phone lines and your boy Rico. Rico Suave, right? hey, Gilbert, Rico Suave.
Rico Suave.
Hey, good morning to you, Rico. How you doing, man?
Hey, I guess I'm doing all right. A little bit of licking my wounds this morning.
Yeah, the Kleenex, man. How many boxes of Kleenex did you buy?
Hey, man, I had to call in, man. I can't be just a fair weathered caller. I got to call in when we make these bad games happen too. But I don't know. There was a turnover in yesterday's game, and Vare got it, stripped that ball right.
Oh yeah, that's right, at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, and gave us
and you
70 points on offense.
Yeah.
But we probably don't make that score if he don't strip that ball like he did. So he'd take 7 points away from, right there. But and I think the line played well. The front line, I mean, them front guys.
They had 5 sacks.
Nice game.
And like Gilbert said, they had 5 sacks.
5 sacks. But the only problem is when that's your only pass defense is sacking, that ain't gonna win ball games.
Hey, Gilbert, hang
on,
hang on, Rico. Hey, Gilbert, it sounds like Rico know a little bit about what he's talking about, huh?
Rico is real knowledgeable. He real knowledgeable with the ladies because he's suave, and he's real knowledgeable on the field. You know what I'm saying? But Rico calling it like you see it, man. Defensive line played. I ain't gonna say they played great. They played good. They did their job. Secondary, we had too many pockets. Too many pockets, man.
You know, 5 sacks.
From last week of not having none.
Yeah, five sacks is a lot of pressure. Is it safe to say that?
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. I'm gonna put it like this. Rico, what you think about Joe Barry, man?
It's not looking good for him. It's not looking good for him, boy. I watched all the riffraff. Hey, I'll tell you what. Like you've said before, Gilbert, Green Bay fans are some of the best in the world, but they are tough. They are tough fans. And last night on the internet and the social, they calling for Barry's head on this one. But I want to go back to something here. If I could ask you real quick, Gilbert.
Yeah.
You were talking about earlier. You guys brought up Butler out there, and you know, could it be right now? I just feel like we don't really have that leader out there on that defense, especially back there in the secondary. I noticed yesterday, Rudy Ford was mouthing off to telling people to get in their position. He was mad about some, it just seems like communication breakdown in that secondary and them linebackers yesterday. Could we use a leader on defense, Gilbert?
Well, they have him. Yeah, but don't they have it? Isn't Smith? Ain't he a leader on defense?
He could be a leader. But what I think Rico is talking about is we need somebody in that secondary to step up. And their leader is off hurt right now.
Yeah, Jamar.
Jair.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I thank you very much for the call, Rico. But that's their leader. And then clearly, Gilbert, they made a big blunder when they let that number 2 defensive back go for a 5th round draft because of some things.
It's showing now. It's showing now.
Yeah, and they really should pay a price for that because it wasn't his talent. He spoke out at a time that angered, the head coach, the front office, and they did away with him, and they're paying the price for that right now.
Yeah,
because even in the backfield, they're young.
Yeah, they are, man. Yeah, and over my years and different times, we had players like that spoke out or did something and got their walking papers. You know what I'm saying? But every time you do that, you do pay a price.
Yeah. So the rest of the players, because from what I read, he was a respected guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A guy who did his job and spoke up. And but anyway, those things. Where do we go from here, Gilbert? We can talk about what happened yesterday, what happened the week before. Yeah. But in the end, they've got 3 games left.
We got to finish strong.
They play a 2-12 team.
We got to finish strong, Earl. Playoff or not, we got to finish strong.
Gilbert, they play a 2-12 team.
It doesn't matter. They can play the school of the blind. We got to finish strong, man. You understand what I'm saying? If we don't finish strong, we're not going to show that we got backbone to get ready for next year. We got to finish strong.
So help me explain to us how, finishing strong has anything with being ready to play next year. What does that mean? What does it look like?
It gets you prepared for next year, man. It gets you prepared for what you got. It gets you prepared for who you seeing what guys that are willing to play the game, even though you ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have backbone, man. You gotta have the enthusiasm. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we got a bunch of young guys that just don't know.
You know, if that's the answer, then the team they're playing next week, that's 2-12.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably feeling that same thing, right?
Yeah.
We got to finish strong.
Got to finish going. Hey, let's put it this way, man. You remember when the Detroit Lions was like 0-15?
Yeah.
And stuff like that?
Yeah.
They kept playing the game. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At 0-15, they still playing the game because some of the guys want a job next year. Don't fall into the trap, man. You gotta finish strong. Period. Or you're gonna be gone. You're gonna be gone. That's what they're looking for. That's what the talent dude looking at right now.
Let me tell you what I saw. 844-967-2789. Towards the last play, a couple plays of, before they scored that final touchdown, I saw a guy break away, and I saw two Green Bay Packers chasing him, Gilbert, and they weren't giving it 100% in their chase. You know what I mean? You can kind of see they weren't giving it everything they had. I guess on film, they're looking at that, right?
Absolutely, Earl. And
even though the game was over, huh?
They're looking for guys that's going to give you everything. When the chips are up and when the chips are down. They even look at you when you go do your press conference. You get a dude that's been run off at the mouth because you've been winning, but when you lose, now you don't want to get up there on the microphone? Come on, man. Win gracefully, lose gracefully. Period.
Yeah. Man, the season, it's a long season, but it's a longer off season, right? Is it safe to say that?
Yeah.
When you go on week to week, they can evaluate you, but over the entire off year, they evaluate you a lot more.
Oh yeah, Earl. It's like we gonna send you home. Let's see how he act when he get home. Let's see what he do when he get home. Let's see what he do when he come back. Let's see how he keep his nose clean.
Yeah, has he been working hard?
Has he been working hard? Or sitting around eating all them Jake's corned beef sandwiches?
Right. 844-967-2789. I know you're out there. Under the Helmet with the Grave Digger on the Earl Ingram Show. Be right back.
You said I'd never be your life and mine, but I do. Return of the man. Return of the man. Hold on. Return of the man. Don't you know? You know that I've been here. I go. Return of the man. A little girl. Return of the man. What's my pearl? Return of the man. Up and down. You know that I've been round and round.
Listening to the Shaw, WAUK.
Menards is celebrating Ryan Blaney's NASCAR championship with 12% off everything till Christmas. Rain-X Weather Armor wiper blades feature an industrial-grade synthetic rubber squeegee that provides around-the-clock resistance to harsh elements. They're designed to provide a streak-free wipe every time. Pick up Rain-X Weather Armor wiper blades for $14.99 each after 12% off. Hurry in before Christmas Day. Savings or mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. Sorry, no price adjustments. See store for details.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Timeout. All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Welcome back to Under the Helmet with the Grave Digger on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 844-967-2789. Text us at that same number. So, Gilbert, 3 games left. Carolina Panthers at Carolina this coming Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota Vikings
Mm-hmm.
at Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
and Chicago Bears at home.
Mm-hmm.
You can't look at the whole schedule and say these 3 games.
Not no more.
You can't overlook 2-12 Carolina Panthers.
Because Earl, we don't know what team we're gonna get on Sunday. Let's just be honest about that. We don't know what team we're gonna get on Sunday, especially when the coach is telling everybody, "Hey, man, we got our play, we got our coached, and he ain't flipped over a table or nothing. He said it's like we cool with this."
So let's flip this, man.
Le floor.
Let's flip this. Let's say Mike Holmgren, after that those last 2 games.
Hey, stop. You know what I want to talk about?
What?
Did you see the 30 for 30 on Reggie White?
No, I didn't, man.
You didn't see that, man?
No, but I will see it now that you mentioned it to me.
Came out last week. Everybody saw. I don't know why you didn't see it. You was probably somewhere dyeing your hair or something. But I'm gonna tell you.
Well,
you
you know how that goes, right?
Shut up, Earl. I'm gonna tell you this. I was sitting there and I was watching it, man, and I heard his voice. Oh my God! And you know, it was this one thing when they used to play on the Jumbotron to get us hyped, and it was Reggie singing "Amazing Grace." And they put that on at the end of the 30 for 30. I was sitting there watching it with my son. I had to get up, Earl, because if I didn't get up, he was going to see me cry. I had to get up and go to the bathroom. I swear to God, I missed that man. But
well, you know,
his impact on the Green Bay Packer organization, because people don't remember, he was the first one started free agency, Earl. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His impact on the Green Bay Packers from once he stepped in there to getting the championships going, getting the Super Bowl going, unmatched, man.
Well, you know, man, I'm old enough to remember Reggie White with the Philadelphia Eagles and how dominant a player he was.
I think he's the only dude that got 2 jerseys for 2 different teams retired.
Yeah, he
a bad dude.
His humanity.
Yes.
He was a bigger human being than he was a great football player. Is it safe to say that?
Yes. I mean, how they say it, controversial on the field and off the field. You know, with his beliefs in religion, and you see him change. His beliefs changed, and you'll see it in his 30 for 30. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of what you like or what you disliked about him, on that field, a grown man.
Yeah. Well, so let me say this. Living in Milwaukee, and at the time Reggie White came to Lambeau Field, Reggie White made a commitment to the city of Milwaukee. Did you know that?
I'm listening.
He made a commitment to what he was going to do to help poor people in Milwaukee, even though it was Lambeau where he went. And he created programs to address what was going on in the city of Milwaukee. And he didn't have to do that. And he did. And
just like how me and Leroy and a couple of guys doing now. We don't have to do what we do because we ain't from Wisconsin.
Right.
We do it because we love Wisconsin. You see what I'm saying? We love Milwaukee, not because of Green Bay Packers. We love Green Bay, not because of the Green Bay Packers. We love because we love our fans. That's what we do.
You know, and the fans love you guys. And, you know, I got to give a shout out to my coworker and your former teammate, Earl Ingram, tight end Earl Ingram, who is a salesperson with Civic Media out of Racine. and so I was hanging out with him on our Christmas party on Saturday, and we were talking about some things, and man, it's you never forget those years. He never forgot those years, man.
Oh, man, football becomes your DNA, man. So big shout out to Earl Ingram, man, and I hope he do well with you guys, man. And
he is gonna do well. He's hanging out with me.
Oh, God.
I'm looking out for him.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna need to talk to him.
Hey, man, Gilbert, these three games left, and there's some guys who probably are saying this is my chance to get in.
Yeah.
But the starters gonna play almost all these minutes, right?
Oh, we ain't got no luxury to not let we ain't got no luxury, man. Everybody better all hands on deck. Some of them where they play, they going to the upper room. The upper room when the talent do call, you going to the upper room.
All right, man. As always, great talking to you.
Same here, brother.
We'll reconnect in a week. Hopefully, the outcome will be different.
Yeah, no more Danny DeVito's or what's his boy name?
Baker Mayfield. Well, who is Carolina got as a quarterback?
They got that new boy, ain't it? Is it?
They got the guy who was supposed to be but he's too
Stroud, right?
He was the best quarterback prospect, but
he been playing okay.
Hey, Gilbert, they're 2-12,
but he been playing okay.
I know. All right, we'll talk next week. Under the Helm with the Grave Digger.
Yo, Big Sandy, I said, what's up, Calvin?
Sure will. All right,
stay away
we'll
from
talk
that
soon.
time. Stay away from
we'll
that
talk
time.
soon.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Yeah.
Keeping Southeast Wisconsin informed, engaged, and entertained. This is The Shaw, 540 AM and 101.1 FM, WAUK.
This is your hometown radio, refreshed, keeping you informed, entertained, and connected locally across the Civic Media Network.
I was proud to be a soldier.
I told the truth and got kicked out.
And so I thought to myself, I'm taking this rule down.
If you're an LGBTQ plus veteran, your memories are important too. Share your story with the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, where firsthand accounts from U.S. military veterans are preserved and made accessible for researchers and future generations. Visit loc.gov/vets to submit your stories, photographs, and documents today.
You're listening to The Shaw, WAUK 540 AM Jackson, W266DR Waukesha, and always streaming on the Civic Media app.
CBS News Brief. There is massive flooding along with power outages and flight delays from a powerful storm along the eastern seaboard. This man's worried about travel out of Providence.
I hope my flight doesn't get canceled. It's pretty expensive.
The Transportation Department slapped Southwest Airlines with a massive fine for last Christmas holiday traffic mess. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
The $140 million penalty comes after an investigation found the airline violated consumer protection laws by failing to provide adequate customer service, failing to provide prompt flight status notifications, and failing to provide refunds in a prompt and proper manner.
The Vatican has just approved blessings for same-sex couples. The document, okayed by Pope Francis, says it's a sign that God welcomes all. However, the Catholic rite will not be given for same-sex civil unions or same-sex weddings. CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
Civic Media News, I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. We're hearing from the first fake elector about efforts to declare Donald Trump the winner of Wisconsin's presidential votes 3 years ago. Andrew Hitt says the Trump campaign told him the documents they were signing were a backup in case the former president won a legal challenge.
So we viewed what we were doing as simply a contingency plan. The documents we signed would have no meaning unless a court gave them meaning.
Hitt tells WISN TV's Upfront he's cooperating with a federal investigation. COVID-19 cases are trending up in Wisconsin. More than 400 people were in the hospital at last word, and 46 of them were in the ICU. State health officials say only 12% of eligible adults in Wisconsin have had the latest COVID vaccine. RSV and flu cases are up too. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WAUK News, I'm Stuart J. Waddles. Yesterday, a Pewaukee police officer was involved in a crash near Blue Mound and Redford Boulevard. The Waukesha County Sheriff's Office says the officer wasn't injured, but the only person in the other vehicle was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The Sheriff's Office says the State Patrol is leading the investigation of the crash. Milwaukee police are investigating multiple shootings from yesterday. The combined shots fired left 5 people wounded across the city. A healthcare dispute has been resolved that could have impacted lots of people around here. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield and Freighter South have agreed on a new 4-year contract. The agreement ensures that Anthem members can still access Freighter South facilities and doctors. In a statement, both organizations say that they are committed to providing high-quality, affordable care and that they look forward to continuing their partnership. And that's what you need to know. I'm Stuart J. Waddles, WAUK News.
Folks, I tell you this much, the Cripescast is just the butter on my cheese.
Mike and Pat, the hosts of the Crash Dummies podcast.
I was born in Nigeria, actually.
Yeah.
So, I was in Nigerian boarding school for like 3 years. It's like a prison sentence. We were trying to prison break our way out of there because they took our passports. I was trying to have people send me money so I can find a new passport.
Wait. You were in Nigeria trying to have people send you money.
Yeah, trying to escape.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Cripescast every Saturday and Sunday at noon across Civic Media and on the Civic Media app.
Tampa wins the Battle of the Bays. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Packers lost to the Buccaneers 34-20. The longer the game, the further Green Bay fell behind. Questions being raised about the future of Packers defensive coordinator Joe Barry. Did he provide the right game plan? Packers linebacker Rashawn Gary.
So of course, going into the game, I feel like we got the right game plan. I feel like we were able to execute and come out on top. But to see the breakdown of the game, see how things went right or left, I have to go back, watch film, which I'm about to do in a couple of minutes to see where we went right and wrong. And like I said, come back, but make them corrections and get to work.
Is it time to fire Joe Barry? Matt LaFleur.
Now's not the time for that.
Why is that?
Because now's not the time. I'm trying to find solutions, and I got to go back and take a look at the film.
NBA, the Bucks with a win over the Rockets, 128-119, and another franchise record for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Another game ball today. Giannis, all-time leading rebounder in Bucks history. I think he has 4 of those: points, assists, blocks, now rebounding.
That's the Bucks head coach Adrian Griffin. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Don't change the station, but do watch out for deer, would ya? You know, they're running around all willy-nilly. It is the Cripescast with me, Charlie Barons, on Civic Media and the Civic Media app.
It is going to be a windy one today. Partly cloudy, windy, 32 our high this afternoon. The wind out of the northwest gusting to between 30 and 40 here throughout the day today, although it will back off a little bit by later this afternoon. Tonight, clear and not as windy, 18. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 35. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Currently, it's 26.
If I could be you.
And you could be me.
For just 1 hour.
If you could find a way.
To get inside.
Each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Did you know this local radio station is part of Civic Media? Learn more about the entire network at civicmedia.us. Your home of
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Please have some snow and mistletoe and presents by the tree. Christmas Eve is gonna find me with a love like me. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams.
All right, welcome back
Only
to the
in
Earl Ingram
my
Show. As always, you can join us at 844-967-2789. It's 844-967-2789. You know, Calvin, I want to kind of sound an alarm because I think we as a society, for whatever reason, our freedoms sometimes can be detrimental to us because we have these freedoms and, and we wear those freedoms on our sleeve. And so COVID-19, nursing home deaths climb ahead of expected winter surge. We've heard this before. Elderly people dying in nursing homes from COVID. It's happening again. Only 27% of residents and 7% of workers up to date on vaccinations in nursing homes. Now, I don't know. My dad was one of those who died from COVID in a nursing home. And I remember, the epidemic that swept through nursing homes. And so many of the people who perished were in nursing homes because regulations weren't in place. And after all, who really cared? It was just a bunch of old people in nursing homes who were sick anyway. And I kind of remember, some of those thoughts with anti-vaxxers. Now, there clearly is a explosion of COVID starting to happen across this nation. And only 12% of the population has been vaccinated. And I don't know if we can attribute that to the fact that people just think this is over, or it's not as deadly as it was before, or whether or not, people just don't care until the numbers start increasing. And the hospitals jammed up. But I remember, I'm sorry, I can only speak for me. I've been vaccinated. And one of the main reasons I've been vaccinated is because my age clearly, I know my immune system is not what it was when I was Calvin's age at 24. And many of you in this listening audience, neither is yours. But somehow we've been led to believe by people who aren't specialists that, this is all for money. The vaccinations are for money. And so that's why I'm not doing it, because they're doing this just for money. So people can take the risk. They do. There's some people who drive around with no car insurance. But anybody who has anything to lose is not driving around without car insurance, right? Those who drive around without car insurance, I know I used to be one, did not have anything to lose, because if something would have occurred, what are they going to see? You don't have anything. What are they going to get? Let's go to Bill from Oconomowoc. Good morning to you, Bill. How you doing? Thank you very much for the call. Your thoughts?
There's tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people who died who didn't need to, if we had had the correct information and not all this misinformation perpetuated by somebody who wanted to make people just fail, or I don't know what the reasons were. They never, I couldn't understand it, but they encouraged people. There was a hoax, that it was a government plot. It was all kinds of things. Well, that cost people lives.
Right.
Back when Jonathan Salk developed the Salk vaccine and we faced polio, there was none of that. We just conformed and we got through it. We were the 14th of countries to lose as many people as we lost. There were countries that did twice the job we did. And ours went belly up, or the job just imploded for one reason. We had too many people that wanted to play politics.
So Bill,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your point.
And that was the problem. The politics got in the way, and unfortunately, people died. And I'll hang up. And
No, Bill. I don't want you to hang up, because listen to this. Only 12% of the population has been vaccinated. Now, I'm one of the 12%, but out of that 12%, 65% of the 12% is over 65. So, and only 27% of those in nursing homes have been vaccinated. What the hell are we waiting for? We know, and no, it's not the strain that initially caused all of those deaths, but it clearly is something that's coming. The winter it doesn't start officially until 3 days from now, the 21st of December, and there's already COVID spreading everywhere. So what is it, Bill? I mean, our phone lines are open at 844-967-2789. I know there are people alive and listening. Why are you not leaning towards getting the vaccination? Bill, I take it you have yours.
I've got mine, and I educate people. I say not taking the vaccination is like this. I grew up when seatbelts were coming into favor, and people who didn't wear them thought about it after their head went through the windshield.
Right.
Well, don't wait for your head to go through the windshield. Get vaccinated. I got to go.
Bill, thank you very much for the call. Same thing with cigarette smoking. The problems with a lot of this is that there are people on the internet who are going to be explaining why you shouldn't take it, right? I don't give a rip about what the people on the internet say. What do they know? What are you talking about? Let's see the credentials of the people on the internet who are giving out that information. I would think that should matter before you make a decision as critically important as this. Let's go to Stephen from Green Bay. Good morning to you, Stephen. How you doing? Good morning. How you doing?
Good Monday morning to you, Earl. This is what I got to say about the whole situation. And I'm going to be quite frank with you. At this point, if you don't have your vaccine or haven't been vaccinated for COVID-19, you're a lost cause at this point. There have been tens of thousands of people that have died from this. And I'm afraid to tell you, but it's going to be like the flu. We're going to have a COVID-19 season every single year. And it's something we're going to have to deal with for the long term. But if you're someone that's out there that's going to listen to a politician over a scientist or a doctor and say, oh, well, it's not that bad, or it's not going to happen to me. I've gone to one too many funerals, people who've died of COVID-19. And there's a common thread with each one of those funerals, and it's, oh, well, we didn't think it was going to happen to us. Well, it can happen to you. And there's literally a vaccine out there that won't prevent COVID-19, but it's not going to make it as bad as it would if you didn't have the vaccine. I am kind of saddened by the time we live in, where politicians have more influence than medical doctors.
Well, Stephen, you're a young guy, and I can tell you, as a seasoned guy, all I know is, to protect the life that I have the best way I know how. And, I kind of enjoy living. Excuse me. So I'm not in any hurry to get to an afterlife, because I don't know anybody who ever came back and said how great the afterlife is. So this is the only life I know. And we should be looking to protect our lives and not allow somebody else to speak who has no concept or understanding at all of who you are, the value you have to your life, to those who love you, and to the people you love and are responsible for. Thank you very much for the call. 844-967-2789. Your thoughts. COVID is here. Not like it's going to be. 844-967-2789. Be back.
This is the Shaw WAUK.
Hi, I'm Emily from Weikert Realtors Lake Point in Madison. Home ownership is a big deal, and so is taking the leap into the buying or selling of any property. The Weikert team gets that, and our job is to help you navigate the sales process and provide smooth sailing. You have questions, we have answers. You have worries, we have solutions. Let us open the door to your future home. Weikert Realtors Lake Point, 608-721-8002, 2045 Atwood Avenue. Find more info at weikert-lakepoint.com.
There's excitement surrounding Carroll University basketball this year. Head coach Lindsay Schultz and the Pioneer women are fired up to deliver another winning season in the CCIW. You can catch all the action of every Carroll women's home game right here. Join Don Brown as he takes you from tip-off through all the game excitement on the Shaw WAUK 540 AM, 101.1 FM, and the Civic Media app.
us 844-967-2789. Text us at that same number. This holiday season, protect yourself, your family, and our community with vaccines. Vaccinations will enable more time enjoying the holidays and less time worrying about COVID-19, influenza, respiratory viruses. Vaccinations saves the lives of millions of children and adults every year. Vaccines train the immune system to reduce the risk from infectious diseases. Vaccinations can prevent serious illness, hospitalization, or death when an infection occurs. The health benefits of available vaccines far outweigh any risk. It's a simple fact. Vaccinations work. Let's go to Julie from Kenosha. Good morning to you, Julie. How you doing?
I'm fine, Earl. Good morning to you, and thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call.
So I had all 3 vaccinations, and I have come down with COVID. So this is the first time in all these years when COVID came out, and it's not fun, but I believe it did cut it down in half. But you were sick. You were sick. And then I was told when I went to urgent care that I can get this again. So my question is, why, I'm a promoter of vaccines, but why isn't this really helping that you can get it again? That would be my question.
So let me first say, I'm not a doctor, but let me tell you the way I look at it. I look at it that, if you get a flu shot, I get the flu shot every year. I've come down with the flu before. There is no 100% coverage on anything in life. And so what it does is gives you a modicum of protection that not having it doesn't. And so if you had not gotten, the vaccination, the depth of your sickness and illness would be a whole lot worse. So what do you lose by getting it? This is the part of it I don't understand. What is the drawback by having the vaccination? It's some modicum of protection as opposed to not having any whatsoever.
Yes.
No, I'm asking you the question. What do you have to lose by having it?
Right. Well, when I speak to people too about it, and their opinions are
all over the map.
There it is, and I want to say religious reasons, and I respect that too. So, and I wear a mask. Believe me, since I had COVID and after the vaccines, knowing it's going around, I wore my mask. But what are you going to tell people? I mean, other than what you and I agree with.
So, Julie, let me say this.
Them.
I know you can't convince them, but here's their mistake. Your physiology and my physiology and everybody's physiology is completely different. None of us were created with the same physiology. And so because of that, your capacity to deal with it is going to be different than somebody else's. And so, somebody may be able to get through it without having the vaccinations, but that's not everybody. So when we talk to people as if we have 100% accuracy on our side saying we don't need the vaccination, that may be for you. But we cannot get past all of those millions of people who died from it. That's a fact. Hey, thank you very much for listening, Julie. Thank you very much for the call. Let's go to Jackie from Milwaukee. Good morning to you, Jackie. You say what?
Hi. I just have a question as a person who just kept my immune system up at all times and just worked towards keeping your immune system up, because when you're sick, your alkaline level is down. You're just drained. But when you eat right, drink, take your nutrients, your vitamins, get your body back in balance, whatever is attacking you, COVID or whatever, it's going to be neutralized. That's a fact. So I'm hearing you say vaccine, vaccine, vaccine. But in the National Institute of Health, there was a program on a couple nights ago, and I hate I didn't get all of the information, but it was talking about the thousands of people who have been on the internet starting group chats that were eliminated, erased off Facebook, and doctors that were basically dismissed. And some even lost their jobs because they were treating these people. And the people would go into the emergency rooms. These were people that had these side effects, and they couldn't understand what's going on. Every time I go to emergency, they don't know what it is. So I know plenty of people that get vaccines and lots of those that don't by religious beliefs or whatever, but they don't. And I did take the first vaccine, and I did it to protect someone else that I'm close to. I didn't do it because I felt like I had to, for me, but I did it, and I regretted it from the very first time I took it within an hour. But I did it, but I continued to keep my immune system up, and I did get COVID, and it felt like a sinus infection for a couple of days, and then it was gone. But for those people that are, and mind you, I keep my immune system up, and a lemon a day and things like that, and alkalinity, it's real. That's why they're incorporating naturalists, homeopathic doctors, along with the medical profession. They've accepted that, and the chiropractors who they didn't accept years ago. It's all incorporated now because they know it's a complete thing. Your wellness is a complete thing. Not only do you need the medicines, you need other things. So I hear you saying you don't understand why they don't get the shot, because there are people out there that they're silencing that has effects after.
So I wish I had more time, but we've got to go pay some bills, and I'll respond to you on the other side. I will say this: all those other people you're talking about, the Food and Drug Administration for the United States government is the one who says that they're the ones who have done I don't know how much research, and this is their suggestion, not Earl Ingram. I'm just a lowly talk show host. But all of the doctors who represent the Food and Drug Administration of the United States government think this is the proper way to handle it. And so, that's kind of who I'm speaking for, not for Earl Ingram. 844-967-2789. All of you guys hang on. We'll return.
My heart and soul, take me in your arms.
.1 FM, WAUK. This is your hometown radio, refreshed, keeping you informed, entertained, and connected locally across the Civic Media Network.
Civic Media News, I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. Security details for next summer's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee are almost finished. Milwaukee's public safety leaders offered an update over the weekend. They're identifying a security zone surrounding Fiserv Forum. Police Chief Jeffrey Norman says that people who aren't part of the convention but live and work in that area will not be completely cut off. More details are expected this spring. Leading state lawmakers are split on the University of Wisconsin Board of Regents trading millions of dollars in state funding for agreeing to freeze spending on diversity efforts. Republican Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu tells Capital City Sunday on WKOW-TV that Regents focused on the broader picture. But Democratic Senator Melissa Agard says she's concerned about the precedent being set. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now, here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WAUK News, I'm Stuart J. Waddles. pomp and circumstance played a couple of times over the weekend in Milwaukee. Graduation ceremonies were held for Alverno College, with over 300 students marking the end of their four-year journey. Ceremonies took place at the Pittman Theater Saturday. UW Milwaukee saw over 2,000 graduates receiving their diplomas in ceremonies held yesterday at the Panther Arena. The upcoming winter El Nino in southern Wisconsin is expected to be the most severe since 2015. The National Weather Service says an El Nino of similar strength typically occurs about once every decade. With the El Nino, temperatures tend to be warmer or close to average. As a result, there's less snow. Our area and the entire state is seeing an increase in COVID-19 cases, with the state health department reporting a rise in emergency room visits. And that's what you need to know. I'm Stuart J. Waddles, WAUK News.
Think you'd like working with us at Civic Media? We're having fun and moving fast to preserve hometown radio across Wisconsin. If you have the right skills to join our team, let's talk. Civic Media is a proud equal opportunity employer committed to diversity and inclusion, along with the growth and development of all current and future employees. If you're interested or are part of an organization who wants to know more, go to our website, civicmedia.us, and click on the Careers tab.
Tampa wins the Battle of the Bays. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Packers lost to the Buccaneers 34-20. The longer the game, the further Green Bay fell behind. Questions being raised about the future of Packers defensive coordinator Joe Barry. Did he provide the right game plan? Packers linebacker Rashawn Gary.
So of course, going into the game, I feel like we got the right game plan. I feel like we were able to execute and come out on top. But to see the breakdown of the game, see how things went right or left, I had to go back, watch film, which I'm about to do in a couple of minutes to see where we went right and wrong. And like I said, come back, but make them corrections and get to work.
Is it time to fire Joe Barry? Matt LaFleur.
Now's not the time for that.
Why is that?
Because now's not the time. I'm trying to find solutions, and I got to go back and take a look at the film.
NBA, the Bucks with a win over the Rockets, 128-119, and another franchise record for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Another game ball today. Giannis, all-time leading rebounder in Bucks history. I think he has 4 of those: points, assists, blocks, now rebounding.
That's the Bucks head coach Adrian Griffin. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot with a look at your weather ahead. A few flurries flying around early will eventually turn to a mix of sun and clouds later on this afternoon. But those blustery winds are gusting out of the north up to 40 miles per hour, making our high temperatures of the low 30s feel more like the teens. Stay warm. Right now, it's 26 degrees.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Whether you're
Lots of happy little children waiting for sunrise, a stocking full of candy and a big surprise. Look at the happiness in their eyes, they're glad it's Christmas. People caroling into the night, where the snow is falling, their sleigh bell rise tonight. We'll snuggle to a nice warm fire. I'm glad it's Christmas. Before this day gets underway, think of how much love you wish to give today. Then wonder why we can't give it all every day. There is no reason every season needs love. People really need one another. Man, woman, boy, girl, sister, man, brother. We wish to.
All right.
Wish happy
back to
holidays.
the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 844-967-2789. Text us at that same number. Just talking about the fact that COVID is starting to rear its ugly head again in nursing homes, especially only 12% of the population has been vaccinated. And so, the last caller wanted to talk about homeopathic solutions and all of these other things and people on Facebook who've been eliminated and all of those things. But let's be truthful in this. Those people on the internet, that could be anybody. Nobody knows what their credentials are. I'm going by the credentials of, the Food and Drug Administration. I'm not always 100% locked in sync with them and that I believe everything that they say. But vaccines approved or authorized by the FDA are of high quality, effective and safe. They have been tested and evaluated, and their safety is also closely and continuously monitored through multiple surveillance systems, which alert both the FDA and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention when a potential concern arises. Vaccinations eradicated smallpox, tuberculosis, polio, and other forms of communicable diseases in the past. And so, yeah, I mean, I get it. Why there are people who will hesitate to deal with taking meds, because unfortunately our government has not, and the Food and Drug Administration and all those people haven't always been righteous. But again, if the option is, relying on taking all the things that we're supposed to take to keep our systems in order, everybody doesn't have that capacity or financial resources necessary to do that. So to me, the masses of the people, and that's what COVID impacts and affects, is the masses of the people, are better protected through vaccination. Let's go to Susan from Kenosha. Good morning to you, Susan. You say what?
Oh, good morning. The first part of my 25 years of my 73 years of life was spent in the medical division, and I happened to work with doctors, extremely intelligent doctors. And COVID is a virus. It's a virus that mutates. And as you get medication, get an injection, the virus will mutate against it. It builds its own new persona per se. I'm trying to explain this in the best way. It can never be completely eradicated. It will rear its head. Some years it will be somewhat docile, and other times it'll rear its head and it'll get worse. It's like the flu virus. Yes, do I get a flu shot every year? Absolutely. Do I get a COVID shot? I've had 8 of them already. Okay, I believe in them. I believe in the medical research that's done. Does it say that I'm not going to get COVID? No. It depends upon what strain hits me at that particular time. And so if people don't get the COVID shot, the virus is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you don't get the antibodies from the previous COVID, you're going to have to deal with the superbug. And a lot of this was brought out in books that I had read and exposure that I had done. They had predicted this in the late 70s, early 80s, that this would come, this would hit this country and the world. And we're seeing the results of what they call super viruses. I hope I'm explaining this to
Yes,
people.
you are. And Susan,
Okay, because
go ahead quickly.
one more thing, no matter how well you keep your body or what your genetic stance is, because some people have a really strong genetic stance,
Right.
and other people have weaker stances. It doesn't really matter. Once this superbug gets to you, no matter how strong your body is, it's going to deplete you and you may die. If you want to take that chance, fantastic. I particularly don't. And I encourage my family members to get COVID, and they all have COVID.
Hey, Susan, the shots, vaccinations. Thank you very much for the call, as always. Let's go to Tom from L.A. Good morning to you, Tom. You say what?
Good morning, Earl. First off, we the people ultimately are the government. We must never forget that. And I would just like to know, where is this term personal responsibility? I mean, does that just left the building? Because, you know, it is my personal responsibility to make sure I don't get other people sick. You know, it's, you know, just like smoking. It's something that you can catch from another person. I'm actually ill today. But the thing is, it's actually, you know, something that you can pass off to another person. At least things like, you know, hard drugs, you know, such as, I can't think right now.
Yeah.
But there's some hard drugs out there that you basically shoot them into yourself. Go do it. Have at it. You know, but when it affects other people's right to be left alone, that's where you need to do what's best for we the people and all of us. So thanks, Earl.
Hey, Tom, thank you very much, as always. Hope you get better. Let's go to Karina. Good morning to you, Karina. How you doing, my friend?
Hi, Earl. Good morning. Well, you know, it's always going to be controversial to anyone to make a decision to have an injection with something into your body. And I think that the most important part, and I agree with Tom, is that if you don't care about yourself, that's fine. That's wonderful. Can you please protect the society you live in and wear a mask? That, and the second, if you do have a belief what puts you against the vaccination, there are ways to protect yourself with vaccination or without. The caller before Tom said absolutely correct thing. The vaccination do not guarantee that you're not going to get sick. Now, what it guarantees is that your sickness may be not going to kill you. There are supplements what are designed actually to help you to get over COVID specifically. Why specifically COVID, not viruses or all other bacteria? Because COVID behaves very specifically with your cells and interact with your body specifically to disable your body's mechanisms. So for that reason, like you know, I work for a pharmacy, and we do have a really good, powerful anti-COVID viruses prevention and when you're sick. So you can actually do that without the vaccine. Question is how much risk you want to take for yourself. Really, Earl, it's very personal. But as I said, we live in a society. You do not live in the middle of nowhere. If you want to do whatever you want to do, buy a house somewhere in the middle of the forest and do whatever. But if you live in the society, you have to stop on the stop sign. Like you said, you have to do things what the society asks you to do for a good of everybody, for a benefit of everybody. So please, at least wear the mask.
Hey, Karina, we got to talk. We'll talk later on this afternoon. Thank you very much for the call. Jack from Merrimack. Good morning to you, Jack. How you doing?
All right. I've got a couple of things to say on this. As I've said before, I taught science for over 40 years in the public schools, private schools.
You mean to tell me you believe in science?
Yeah, you think? You know, first of all, the vaccine works. It, as other people pointed out, it won't completely guarantee that you won't get COVID, but it certainly cuts the symptoms down if you do. One of the nurses, when I was getting my vaccinations, one of the nurses basically said, this won't completely protect you, but it'll keep you from dying. And that's a pretty good argument.
That's a pretty good argument.
The second thing is, if enough people don't get vaccinated and simply ignore this, what happens is that the vaccine, or the virus that causes COVID, will eventually mutate. If it gets enough chances, it'll mutate into something that could conceivably be worse. And you need a certain level of vaccination to keep that from happening. And finally, I want to share this, and I'm sure many people have seen this. There was a meme on early on when the vaccine came out on the internet, and it was all over the place. And it basically was a couple, 3 lines. And the first line said, "Mommy, what's that scar on your shoulder?" And the mommy says, "Well, dear, that's my smallpox vaccination." And the kid said, "Mommy, what's smallpox?"
Yes,
because
it's been eliminated.
The World Health Organization, exactly, in 1980, because of mass vaccinations. So, vaccinations work, and the problem is that so many people have heard from so many lying sources that the vaccine doesn't work, that we've got this continuous round of not enough people get vaccinated, so then there's a mutation in the virus, so you've got to have another round of vaccinations. And COVID might just be as complex as flu in that respect. So we may have to have a COVID shot and a flu shot every year if you want to keep the track record of the damage down.
Jack, I respect the things that you say. I truly do. I really do. But I'm not going to base my decisions on what Jack from Merrimack says. The Food and Drug Administration, when scientists have done the research and continue to do the research, Jack, I think I'm probably going to lean a little bit more to what they say than somebody on Facebook. Is it safe to say that?
Well, I hope so. It's like we're getting now. People are claiming, for example, that thus and such a drug is causing problems, and so it should not be used for, let's say, an abortion drug.
Yeah, Jack, we got to take a short hiatus. Thank you very much for the call. 844-967-2789.
The Shaw, WAUK.
Robert Hack Diamonds pays cash for your unwanted gold, silver, and even diamonds. That's right. Robert Hack Diamonds wants to make you an offer on your gold, silver, and diamonds. The process is very simple. No appointment needed. Just come on in, sit down in a nice, relaxed atmosphere, and the staff of Robert Hack Diamonds will evaluate your unwanted gold, silver, and diamonds and make you an offer on the spot. Then you can decide if you want a deal or no deal. Robert Hack Diamonds can also convert your old jewelry into something new or trade in your outdated pieces for something new and exciting. Many people inherit jewelry that might not be your taste, but you are sentimental. Why not have Robert Hack Diamonds take the golden gems and create something for you? So many options at Robert Hack Diamonds. Again, Robert Hack Diamonds pays cash for your unwanted gold, silver, and diamonds. See them in Brookfield, just east of Moreland on Greenland Avenue, or 76 in Layton, right on the corner in Greenfield. RobertHackDiamonds.com.
This is the show.
Christmas time is here. Happiness and cheer. Fun for it's what children call their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, carols everywhere, everywhere. Olden
All right, welcome back to the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 844-967-2789. Text us at that same number. So, Wisconsin GOP primary poll, former Sheriff David Clark. You know who he is, don't you? You ever hear? Calvin, have you ever heard of Sheriff David Clark?
I am familiar.
Okay, so let me tell you this. So David Clark holds a large lead over Eric Hubdy in a possible Senate race against Senator Tammy Baldwin. Let me tell you my David Clark story. It's true. All this is absolutely true. So when I used to be on a different radio station, David Clark was a guy I used to bring in to co-host with me. Just true. Absolutely true. He'll tell you that if you ask him if he knows Earl Ingram, he'll tell you. Yeah, I know Earl Ingram. So when he was sheriff in Milwaukee County, I used to vote for David Clark. I did. He was a different guy then. And I would have him come on the show. And I never will forget the first time I had David Clark come on the air. David Clark came in. He had 2 or 3 guys with him. I don't know where he thought he was going, but for, I don't know, security blanket or whatever it was. And he came in and we sat down and he was very studious. He was very quiet. He was cognizant of the fact that he was on the radio, something I guess he had never really done on a regular basis, and talking to an audience and those kinds of things. Clearly, he was media savvy because television, when you're the sheriff of Milwaukee County, the biggest county in the state of Wisconsin, you are going to have microphones in your face and television and those kind of things. So he was used to that. But as far as having dialogue back and forth with the listening audience, that was new to him. He was nervous, quiet, serene. David Clark. And as time went on, I could see David Clark, getting his feet under him. And I remember him coming in one day, and he said to me, "Hey, Earl," he said, "that's my show, right?" He says, "I've got something we want to talk about today." So he brings in what he's going to talk about on the Earl Ingram Show. Now, let me say this before I go any further. David Clark has done some good things. I used to run the largest youth tackle football program in the state and did not receive a nonprofit, all volunteer, and I was not getting any financial support from most people because, believe it or not, I'm on the air and I don't say things to tickle people's ears. That's not why I'm on the air. So I say things that I think need to be said and that there are people who sometimes are afraid to say them. But David Clark, to his credit, came out and saw my football league, and he clearly made a couple large donations to keep our football league going. I have to say that about the man. He didn't have to do it. He did it without fanfare. So there was certainly something, and there's something good in him because he did that. Also, we used to deliver turkeys, baskets. I was on a different radio station and the sheriff's department, and I would, along with Sheriff Clark and the sheriff's department, go to different places and give those baskets to the poor with Sheriff David Clark. So I'm not saying there's 100% negative in him. There were these positive things, but those things have long since gone by the wayside. The David Clark of today is as far away from that guy as the as the North Pole is from the South Pole. He certainly, something changed in him. He used to fill in for me. So if I would have some time off, David Clark would come in and do my show for me. I know him. But to say that David Clark should be a senator of representing, Wisconsin, negative. Absolutely not. The David Clark of today is not that man. I think I have a position based on the relationships that we had and knowing him, or having known him, the old David Clark, and that David Clark of today, two different people altogether. So the fact that the Republicans think that Sheriff David Clark should run against Senator Tammy Baldwin, bring that on. The Democrats should really relish that, because there's no way possible Sheriff David Clark the then Sheriff David Clark, the former sheriff of Milwaukee County, can ever defeat Senator Tammy Baldwin. I wish I had more time, but we got to run. Thank everybody who made the show go. I'll be back on tomorrow. My co-host, Sandy Williams. Hey, it's snow outside, so dress for it. See you guys on tomorrow.
Dang,